All right. So we're back. So I don't know why, but you decide to come back for more. Like it's a UFC battle. Like it's a UFC match. You've already been knocked out 3 times. And you're like, "Hey, I'm coming back for round 4, baby." We got a lot on the agenda today. What the fuck is a quiet quit? You know, we're gonna talk about quiet quitting. What the fuck is quiet quitting? We're gonna talk about like standing on results. We're gonna talk about rejecting the what they want you to believe with the not going above and beyond and just doing the bare minimum. We're going to talk about that, how that's communist propaganda, how they want you to be like, hey, they want you to fucking give up. They want you to say, hey, there's no point in going above and beyond. We're going to talk about all that. Because I see some people who claim to be for the Republican Party and for, you know, capitalism, not communism type beat, but they're falling victim to this bullshit. All right, this bullshit. Anyone with laser eyes can see right through it to the truth, right? So let's go into what communism is and how it would look in the workplace, right? Communism says, you know, you have 10 workers, one of them works harder than all the rest of the 9, but they all get paid the same, right? That's communism. That going above and beyond wouldn't actually result in a higher pay or, you know, better benefits or anything like that. That's communism. So in a communist society, forget going above and beyond. And that's what they want you to think right now in this economy, in this workplace, in this in the workforce of today. They want you to believe going above and beyond, pointless. Forget it, buddy. The bosses will purposely, you know, not give you credit. They'll purposely not you know, promote you. That's what people will tell you who believe this stuff, right? They're trying to make it seem as though going above and beyond is pointless. So of course they're going to tell you, you know, just do the bare minimum. Just quiet quit. Just go in, do the bare minimum. Don't do anything more than what's asked of you. Because that's communism. And if it's not communism at that point, because they see you're going above and beyond, they know you're about to get that fucking manager position, and they're like, look, you're not getting anything from it. Why don't you just give up, you know? Why don't you just do what everybody else is doing? And it's the power of, like, you know, I'm trying to think of an analogy that everyone can understand. It's like you're going to the fucking gas station and buying lottery tickets. You're like 10 days in a row, right? You're buying lottery tickets. And on that 11th ticket, there was a fucking $1 million fucking jackpot or whatever. Like you won $1 million if you would have bought that next ticket. But that's when you decide not to buy the ticket, right? So it's like you were right. You were just about to get your promotion, right? And you're like, that's what I'm gonna that's when I'm going to, back away from it, right? Don't let them do that to you. They want you to do that. Don't you see? When you look around and realize everybody wants to pull you back down. Don't let them do that. So what is a quiet quit? What's a quiet quit? It's simple. It was a winning mind has been that let people's opinions change the course of his life. And what's the solution? You're like, Ben, what's the solution here? You're like, you can tell us about what the problem is. How do we solve it? It's simple. You gotta be great. You gotta be great even when they don't grade you as great. You gotta be great even when they say you're small. Even when you feel fucking small, you gotta be great. You gotta pull through on the days that you don't want to, on the things that you don't want to do. That's the solution. And lose your fucking lose yourself in that. Lose yourself in giving things 100%. That's what I do. That's how I do things, and it's any wonder that I can laugh hysterically in a hater's face. They're like, "How do you do that, Ben? How do you have this such a thick skin where you can just fucking just laugh in a hater's face like that?" I'm telling you how. I'm telling you how. Like when you get people figured out, right? When you get people figured out, and all you can do is laugh. So what is quiet quitting? I mean, it's throwing out your reputation. It's saying that doesn't matter anymore. The stuff that I'm good at on my resume, I might be good at, carpenter. I might be a carpenter. I might be a fucking plumber, a fucking painter, a goddamn musician is what I am. But whatever you are, you got that on your resume. It's saying, none of that matters. Just do the bare minimum. So, you found out, you get better at logistics of things. You can manage the logistics of things and the operations of things within a workplace to make it more efficient, right? And this is going to have a slightly different ending. The world I'm trying to promote says, hey, put that on your resume. Go ahead and put that on your resume so that the next job you get can see what a good job you've done. And they can put you in a position accordingly, according to your experience and merit. What the workers want you to say is, hey, just do the bare minimum. Don't go above your pay grade. You're never going to get credit for it. Okay, so what you didn't get the fucking raise in that company? Okay, let's say I work at McDonald's. I figure out some better way of doing things. We implement that way of doing things. I don't get the manager position. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. you at least have something new to put on your fucking resume. But society wants you to believe that that is worthless. Forget making... Forget. Do you see how stupid I think this is? Forget how you made humanity better. Forget that. I mean, where do you figure? Where do you figure? Of course, making humanity better is the overall goal here. Of course, that's what defines someone's worth. What kind of improvements they contributed towards humanity's well-being. Why do you think Bill Gates is worth so much? He made work so easy. He made starting these corporations so easy. Duh. It's any wonder why Bill Gates is so wealthy. Why do you think people like, Jeff Bezos is so wealthy? He literally provides just about 90% of the suburbs' fucking items in their houses. The couches, the fucking furniture, whatever they order from Amazon. Duh. So if you're not trying to better humanity, there's only one other alternative. You're not trying to better humanity. You're trying to worsen it. You're trying to pull it down, right? And I'm here to say fuck that. Fuck you guys who want to sit around and say that do the bare minimum. Fuck you guys that want to sit around and say to do the bare minimum. You guys, will never be in contact with me for all the right reasons. And you're like, wow, why can't I get a hold of Ben? Is it because he's this, that, and the other? It's because you see someone doing well and you want them to do the bare minimum. You see someone doing well and you tell them not to do as well as they're doing. I'm the type that I recognize that everybody's got the size battles that they can handle. So, another solution to this whole thing, this whole quiet quitting, when you go in to a job and your boss is like, hey, you're doing this tonight. And you're like, oh, this is the hardest one. Like, this is the hardest position of our job here. This is the most difficult one. The one that everyone hates and tries to avoid getting out of. You're like, it's my turn to do that tonight? You're like, I did it the past 4 nights in a row. Well, see, that's just a very weak perspective of it. I want to sit here and be like, it's a glass half full, glass half empty type of situation, and it might be. But I think that there's more to it than that in the way you're perceiving this situation. Because the way I perceive these situations, and I when I'm unaffected by peers and by social groups, the cliques. There's some cliques in some of these workforces. When I'm unaffected by all of that, no peer pressure whatsoever, I naturally believe like, oh, okay, I was given the hard work because I'm the best. So I don't I don't wonder why I was given the hardest job. Because I can handle it, motherfucker. So if you're the type that wonders, oh, why was I given the hardest work? It's like, go fuck yourself. Go home and fuck yourself. I'll do the work. I don't mind doing it. Some people will, well, Ben, you're a dick, dude. Okay, I'm giving a guy a day off. That's a real dick move. I think you know what a dick move is? You know what a dick move is? Having a stable income and still bitching and complaining. I think that's a dick move. I think that me and you will never agree on what a dick move is because your ruler, the way you measure things, you pull out your fucking tape measure and the numbers are completely backwards. It starts at 64 when you pull it out. It starts at 64 and goes down. 63, 62, 61 as you pull it out. Your ruler's backwards. Your entire measurement system. So me and you will never agree on things like this. Some people say up is down and down is up. Remember, we talked about that. I'm here to show you real up. I'm here to show everybody real up. That's going above and beyond, standing on your result regardless of if you get the raise or not. Because that is your worth at the end of the day. Not what people defined you as your worth. But that's your actual worth. It's not how much you make at the end of the week. Some people, they make $600 at the end of the week. And they think that's their worth. They're like, I'm worth $600 a week, dude. What are you making? And I flipped the question around. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And they go through. They're like, oh, I deliver boxes, and I do the same thing every day. And I'm like, well, right there, you just said it. So you admit that you don't get more experience on anything new. There's no new experiences that you have to pull any new frame of reference or new information from. You haven't learned anything fucking new. So you make $600, but you're in the same fucking spot you were last week. That's why I say, don't think just because you're winning in this fucking Biden's economy right now. Don't think that because you're winning that you're doing all that great. You're not. You're not. I hate to fucking pop your bubble. But you're not. Some people just pretend to know shit. Right? They pretend to know shit. Whereas other people have their references, they have their results to stand on. If you ever looked at a graph, right, of FedEx's stock, and there's some kind of weird jump between 2021 and 2022, coincidentally the year I worked there, I'm like, huh. Like it rised a little bit higher during that time period than any other time period. I'm like, huh, something showed through there. I'm like, something of my results bled through there on the graph. I'm not stupid, right? Or, if I make 7 songs this week, 2 are good, 5 are trash, and that's pretty good, right? I'm not gonna, but that's my result I stand on there. I can go and I can play that song. Say someone doesn't like it, I'm like, okay, well, you're 1 in 7 billion people. I'm sure there's another person out there that will. So, what do you think worth is? If it's just a $sign at the end of the week, what is worth? Because it's not the amount of experience you get. You do the same fucking thing every day. It's not like that's any more experience. So once you find, once you've learned the job, right, and you know the best way to do it, let's say that takes you 3 months to acquire that level of knowledge. So these new workers come in and apply this idea where you need to. These new workers come in and they get trained. It takes them another 3 months. You working the same position as these people who have been there for 3 months now that already know it to the best of just as well as you do. You're not any more experienced than them. Yeah, okay, yeah, technically speaking, you've done the job longer, yeah. You could say that, yeah, technically you have more experience, but in actual knowledge, for all, practical purposes, it's no difference, right? Unless you're giving it more effort than the other person is, which could be a bit of a pride thing. You're like, hey, I've been here longer, I'm gonna work fucking twice as hard as this motherfucker. There's no way this dude 3 months fucking he's going to be better than me when I've been here a year. Like, you can do that and you can be better than him. But as far as actual numbers go, if you guys are just kind of doing your average work, the numbers are going to be comparable. So it's not like, you can say that you have more experience than someone else when you're just doing the same thing every fucking day. Now, if you were job hopping, let's say you're job hopping and you're doing it smart, right? You're getting some experience here and there, and you're working in this industry, and then you're calling it quits and moving over to a different industry. You're putting in your 2 weeks and shit. Excuse me. I'd say to you, well, yeah, that's actually gaining more experience than someone who's sitting in the same warehouse every day. But don't quite quit. You're like, hey, I'm stuck. You're like, Ben, I'm stuck in this place. I've been working here for 9 years and I just feel stuck. I feel like I'm stuck in the same spot and I can't get better. I'm like, hey, I've been in a similar situation before. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty and I wanted to get into it competitively, so I felt like I was there for years and I wasn't getting any better and I was stuck. Sometimes you need to know when to look for other options, dude. Right? I'm playing Call of Duty all the time. That was around the time I started getting into GTA 5. Started playing a lot more of that and letting go of Call of Duty in a sense. I was playing a lot of the custom races and stuff like that. But you got to know when to walk away from something. You got to know when you're damn stuck. And you got to really know. You got to know. And you'll know. You're like, I'm not getting any better. Because you know when you're getting better. You're like, damn, dude, I just did something really impressive today. Like, you're not wondering if you're when you're getting better. But if you're wondering, if you're getting better, then you're probably not. But when you're getting better, you're not going to wonder if you are. You're going to know. So if you wonder if you're getting better, it's probably because you're not. Right? And it's hard to measure in some industries. Right? It's really hard to measure. So what I'd consider better is something that the average people in this industry, and when I say average, I mean when you look at 100 people that are trying to work in this industry or are working in this industry, paid or not, are they capable of doing the things that you do? And how often are you doing these extraordinary skills? How often are you pulling off the tricks? Because that's what separates, That's what changes worth in an industry. You're like, what's the difference between let's say, I don't know if you guys know, I think of something that people actually understand. You're like, what's the difference between Eminem and no, we're not gonna do that. What's a good analogy here? They're like, what's the difference between a Sam's Cola and a Coca-Cola? Well, that's actually not a good analogy. I'm not even going to cap. That's not a good analogy. My relationship with this podcast is very love-hate sometimes. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like when you're coming up with worth, you're like, what makes GTA? Okay, here's a better one. Here's a better one. What makes GTA 5 better than GTA 3? And you look at different things, and I use a video game as an example because it's a better example of things. You look at how often it can pull off an extraordinary effect, or like a graphical effect, or like a storyline plot twist. You look at how often it can pull off certain things like this, or like build suspense, and or like maybe pull your heartstring in a certain way, and maybe grip a tear out of your eye, and you like. Or you laugh and you have a really comedic moment. It's how often these video games can do these sorts of things. But if it's doing it fucking back to back to back to back to back, and it just doesn't stop, right? And you're fucking laughing a gut up playing this video game, it must be a pretty damn valuable video game, right? Like it's not average compared to one where you're like, this is all right, and you're barely stimulated. I'm talking like you're bouncing in your fucking couch, hype as shit, because this video game is fucking awesome. That's worth. That's value. So you get into trades, right? You're fucking building houses. Well, it's simple. are you keeping your damn walls straight? Are they all leveled out? Or, if I put my dresser in this room, is one of the fucking legs going to be floating off the ground for no reason? That's value. That's value. And some people might say, well, I'm on a budget. I'll opt for a slightly uneven floor for a price or rent or a mortgage. And I'm like, hey, more power to you. But most people, if they have the expendable income, they're like, hey, give me the best. And I don't want anything less than that. Like you hand the rich man hands his butler liquor money. He says, hey, I'm throwing a party tonight. Go get the liquor. The butler says, all right. Heads to the liquor store. You think he's coming back with Grey Goose or fucking Pinnacle? Grey Goose, baby. I mean, come on. Grey Goose. They're coming back with Grey Goose. Now, jokes aside, don't be putting, your expendable income towards liquor. If you have an extra dime to spend and you have, you want vodka, skip the Grey Goose. Get yourself some Pinnacle, right? Put your fucking leftover, what you were going to spend on the Grey Goose money, now put that towards your business or yourself, your fucking, maybe something better for you. Maybe go buy like a 30-pound weight at Walmart. Do some fucking workouts. Do something. Because, I don't know. I just, I'm not a big liquor drinker. So, use more of that money towards something better. That's the way I see it. That when you're like, hey, I'm going to stop buying this every week. Because I like to use it, but I don't need to use it. It's not like toilet paper or like paper towels or cleaning products. I don't need it, right? But I want it. So you're like, hey, I'm going to cut that out of my spending budget. And this is game here. This is game. You have now freed up money, and you've freed yourself. You have also freed yourself. So while it might have just been a vape holding you back, that's, $20 every week or whatever. It adds up. Now you're able to buy the new, a new workout equipment, or, whatever you're into, a new car. So there might be, financially, there's a million good reasons to cut out a want. And I'm kind of skipping topics here, but I also want to go into budgeting. This is a beautiful segue into budgeting, because it needs to be talked about. So people are like, I see a problem that a lot of people have these days. They're like, They can't. They say that they can't afford to meet, certain dietary needs, or like they're trying to build muscle or something, and they can't get fucking enough protein. It's hard to get fucking protein in, right? So much of the American diet has been filled with like carbs, which is fine. Carbs is good energy. But let's talk about protein, right? So you get into protein and it's like, you got some options. You got like tuna. You should get some tuna, or a tub of protein powder. And I'm not talking the expensive stuff. I'm talking the cheap fucking Equate. I'm talking chalky when you drink it type protein powder, and expect it to be chalky. Alright? Beggars can't be choosers, alright, baby? Don't be complaining. Alright? Here's the thing. There's more than just that. You got beans. So you don't like the protein powder. Go get some beans. Oh, Ben, I don't like beans. I don't like baked beans. Okay. So there's many options you can get. Like, it's all about lowering your standards when you're broke. When you're broke, it's about lowering your standards. Don't expect to be eating cuisine. Don't expect to be eating fucking Olive Garden level meals. Just forget it. So put yourself, in like the mind of a bottom feeder. You're eating low class shit. You gotta eat the tuna. You gotta eat the sardines. You gotta eat the Great Value ham out the pack. You gotta eat, for protein, so if you buy like a Great Value pack of like beef patties, I'm pretty sure they got like what? I want to say like 8, maybe 9 grams of protein a patty. If you get a 64 count of eggs, they're like $8. Eat 6 of those a day. Just fucking hard boil them in the morning. Pop them down the hatch. Bam. You got 36 grams of protein first thing in the morning. And you should be getting about a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, we aim for that. We aim for it as much as possible. We might get like 80%, and that's fine. We should be shooting for like a B grade average on this number, because it might be hard to get a gram per pound. But eat your fucking eggs, eat your tuna, eat your chicken, eat your beans. I already said that. Eat your ham, eat your turkey, eat your beef, eat it all, and eat a lot of it. Eat a lot of it. You should be shooting for about 30 grams of protein per sitting. So, with the eggs, you got 36. It's a little bit over. First thing in the morning, it's at breakfast time. So, I like to front load my protein and just get it all in. And that way, it has time to work its way in through my body throughout the day. Because you don't want to be eating right. You don't want to be eating a bunch of, like, another 30 grams of protein. You don't want to be fitting that in right before bedtime. Because even if you have protein, it's right before bed. So where's it going? It's going to your stomach. So I'm going to apply the science for you. You don't want to go and eat. I try not to eat anything past like 8 or 9 o'clock. But carbs should be cut off at 5 or 6. Carbs, nicotine, caffeine, all kinds of stuff. Cut off at 5. That's when you bring out the beers. If that's what you're into. I'm not into that. I know there's a saying that like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. But yeah, cheap protein sources. It's all about making sacrifices in the grocery store too. Like, how bad do you want to be healthy? Like, people are so stuck in their fucking ways. They're like, I just get Chips Ahoy every week. It's just what I get every week. It's like, why? Oh, because it's just what I get every week. Like, it literally costs the same. Put the Chips Ahoy back and get a small pack of ham and eat that instead. Like, every time you crave a cookie, and I vouch for replacement therapy so much. Replacement therapy is so well. Like, it works so great. Replacement therapy is pretty much when you're like, every time I fiend for a vape rip, I take a sip of water instead. Because it activates a kind of similar motion. You know, you suck on a straw or something. It's kind of like sucking on a vape. So it activates a very similar part of the brain, and you kind of feel a little bit relieved of that crave. So, okay, you're addicted to cookies, right? You trade the cookies out for ham instead. You throw this pack of ham in your fridge. Now, how do you apply replacement therapy to what you're doing here? Well, simple. Every time you crave a cookie now, go out, get a slice of ham, eat your fucking ham, and bam. I can see you slimming up already. It depends what you're trying to do. Some people are trying to bulk. So they're like, hey, you know, I can get my protein in, and I can't get any further than that. They're like, I can get my protein in, but I can't bulk up. I'm like, dude, just add like a brownie to it. Go get a brownie mix pack. Or a brownie pack, a pack of brownies or whatever. Not like a Little Debbie box of brownies, but like a brownie box of batter mix. Go make some brownies. Add like a fucking brownie into your diet. Drink some more milk. The brownies, I mean, that's kind of just like back-end calories to bulk up, right? I'm not saying that that's healthy, but if you're trying to bulk, right, it's a cheap option. What else can you do? Ramen. If you're trying to fucking bulk, geez, why would I overlook this? Ramen. My brother swears by ramen and eggs. So look, all right, scratch everything I said. Let's say you're trying to bulk up, build muscle. What you're going to want to do is head right to the ramen soup aisle, get a bunch of packs of ramen. You're going to want to get a 64 count of eggs, maybe 2 of them. And you're going to be fucking throwing 6 eggs in a bowl of ramen, cooking it up. And you're going to go down the hatch with it 3 times a day, man. 3 times a day, drink plenty of water, get that sodium. Make sure you cushion that sodium with water. Right? And, bam. Tank mode. Right? Fucking tank mode. But there's really no excuses. You're like, I can't bulk up. I'm like, why? It's because you're a pussy. It's not because you can't bulk up. It's not because you can't, lift a weight. People, oh, where do you find the motivation for that crap? Sometimes you're not motivated. That's the point. That's the whole idea here, right? You get in, because I live the same life that you do sometimes, where I'm just fucking mad at the world, and I see someone do, I'm like, well, fuck him, he didn't deserve it, He fucking didn't work hard for that stuff. Like, he has it easy. And I'm mad at myself. I'm like, oh man, I've been fucking slacking off and not doing my fucking job. And I beat myself up to the point where I beat myself up into the fucking studio, where I also have my workout equipment. And I get to work, baby. I increase that value that we were talking about. Remember when we were talking about value? So budgets. On the topic of budgets, people like to work out. A lot of people like to work out. That's not a new thing, right? A lot of people like to work out. What if we took our Planet Fitness money, right? The money that we spend on Planet Fitness, and I say we as a society. And instead we say, all right, I'm going to throw that $10 a month, and I could be $1, $2 off. I don't want corrected. Let's get to the point here. We throw that $10 a month into a fucking savings account on Cash App or something. After, how many months, I have $400. Well, now you can just buy the squat rack and the bench or whatever, $400, $500. I'm like, why are you even going to Planet Fitness anymore? Why are you booking? Why would someone book a studio session here when they can just buy the foam, buy the mic, buy the Focusrite Scarlett Solo? I'll never see it. I'll never see it how they want me to see it, where I'm like, I own nothing, and I'm happy. I own a lot and I'm pissed off. That's the kind of person I am. I'm happy sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy. It's like I said, it's a love-hate relationship, but yeah, most times I fucking feel like I own everything and I'm pissed off. So, own nothing, be happy? I mean, go fuck yourself. And be happy. Because I'm going to continue to expand my assets. What else is there to do? What else is there to fucking do? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right? Right? Look, I could be wrong. Oh, shit. I could be wrong. I don't want to assume. But if you're not getting better, I think you're getting worse. And actually, I'll say this. If you're not getting better, you're just not getting better. Because to say that if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. We already explained this. How if we just sit here, the system wants to say we're going down in value, but it's like, that's just the system, you know? It's kind of ridiculous. But, last but not least, because this is, you know, I got what was most important in my eyes out of the way first. And I saved the best one for last. Because we got the topic, the problem that people are just going fucking crazy about, man. People are going crazy about this one. You know which one it is, right? The border. Yeah, that one. Yeah. So people are going crazy about the fucking border. And we got barbed wire going up. We got fucking Texas governor fucking throwing up that barbed wire. We got Mexico saying no barbed wire. And people are afraid that it's going to be a second civil war. And I don't even see how this would be a civil war. We're talking about borders here. Is this a civil war? I don't know that looking at this like it's a civil problem has the right, you know. The only way this could be a civil war is that, you know, your civil rights say that, you know, maybe you own some of that property out in Texas and you have a right to protect that damn property. You know, people walk on your fucking farmland. You have a right to kick them off of it. So, I mean, let's not confuse. Let's not confuse any of this nonsense. It's been going on too long, the whole circus and stuff. Like, everyone wants to think that, like, they're special, they got a problem, and they deserve our help. And it's like, what about our own fucking people? And so now, war is finally knocking on our door, and everyone's ran into the basement. So war came to our front door and everyone's in the basement. But when it's at our neighbor's front door, we're instigating it. We're basically throwing money at it, saying, fucking, oh, I hope this team wins. Like a bunch of fucking gorillas. Like a bunch of soulless, mindless gorillas. All they know is fucking violence and being strong and fucking pounding the chest. Well, when we're all done pounding the fucking chests and hurting each other and, you know, and we're like, hey, you know, I'm ready to focus on our country, and then our fucking country finally has war stepping at its own doorstep. Like, war's knocking on our door now, not our neighbor's door, our door. Everyone runs to the basement. And no, I won't say everyone. There is some people who are like, yeah, I think Texas should defend itself. But most people are like, oh shit, you know, we don't deal with this, you know. We're nonviolent. We can't be caught killing somebody or dying, you know. I'm not going to die or kill somebody. So it's you know, this isn't that Hollywood Undead song, I don't want to die so you're going to have to type bullshit. So like you just walk out, right? Or you leave. You leave the country, you flee the country, or you flee the state. You go to a different state. But it's like, does that better it? Does that fix everything for you? Don't you kind of feel like you kind of left the whole state on a cliffhanger? Like maybe you were an essential part of the mission there? It's usually the you know, the same ones who are picking sides on this Ukraine and Russia, Israel, and Palestine. The same people who are picking sides on this are saying, you know, so they're pro-war on other people's soil. But then when it comes to our soil, they're like, I'm about peace and I won't defend our country. I'll just let them fucking come in. I'm so about peace. I'll die for peace right here, right now. And I'm like, why? That's so stupid. Like, I agree with peace too. Like, I wrote the song Peace, and some would say it's a beautiful piece of art, no fucking pun intended. At the same time, you know, if my feet get stepped on, I'm gonna step back. I have a human right to believe that. And some would say, well, you're not going to get far with that attitude. And I'm like, fine. I'm like, cool. You know, maybe my goal isn't to get far. I don't want to get far. Sometimes with how many steps was taken, you know, how far you got, sometimes less is more, right? Depending on what it is you're trying to do. I mean, sometimes I don't want to go far. Maybe I'm trying to save gas, motherfucker. So go far. I mean, I'm not worried about it. My mindset's different. I don't think the same as you. And I'm not going to be applauded. I'm not going to be applauded for giving up what I think in favor of what somebody else believes about the world. Especially when I know my version's correct. Not everyone, you know, I'm not expecting, you know, I don't want to control anybody's actions. So, of course, you know, some people are going to listen to what I say and, you know, all right, they get their foot stepped on and they step back. Others will be rugs for people to walk on. Just constant. Just a rug. Don't be the rug. Know your worth. Have boundaries. Respect others' boundaries. But don't be the rug. Don't be a rug. And stand on your boundaries. Even when everybody disrespects them. They're like, your boundaries are a joke. I'm gonna step on you anyways, like you're a rug, and I'm gonna treat you like a rug. Let them treat you like a rug, and keep your boundaries up, because it says more about them that they're stepping on you like a rug. If you've already said, hey, bitch, I'm not the rug, I'm the ceiling, motherfucker. I'm where they want to get at. I'm above it all. And they're still stepping on you like you're the rug. It says more about them. Again, up is down. Up is down for these folks. But we don't give up. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys could be doing anything else in the world right now, and you decide to tune into my podcast. I'm like, hey, that's fucking awesome. You know? Excuse me. What kind of shit makes me happy? Increase that value. Increase that worth, and don't ever second guess it. Don't let people have you second guessing it. And if you're going to change, do it for yourself, not for anybody else.